Welcome to Pearson Test of English, also known as PTE. This session covers another type of question under listening, and that is multiple choice, choose multiple answers. So this is the test format. You will be given 2 to 3 tasks. The skill assessed here is listening. This type of question is said to be scored as partial credit. You will get 1 mark for each correct response and -1 for incorrect response. The minimum score is 0. You have to select the suitable options. This can vary from 3 to 4. The tasks are not timed individually, which means you can spend as much as time as you want, but you are suggested to spend not more than 1.5 minutes per question. Here is a sample of what the question might look like. You will be given your instruction at the beginning, which says, listen to the recording and answer the question by selecting all the correct responses. You will need to select more than one response. This is your audio status box. This shows the countdown or the timings within which the audio is about to begin. This is known as your status bar. Your question will be given and there are several options. You have to listen to the audio, match the words or keywords and phrases to the audio and select the correct options. You must be extremely careful. In case you select an incorrect option, you will straight away get a negative marking of -1. So what does this task require you to do? You need to read the questions and skim the options given. You will have to listen to a recording of a passage. On the screen or paper, there will be a question regarding the passage and a list of possible answers. You have to select all the answers which are correctly related to the passage that you have listened to. There will be 2 to 3 such tasks. The purpose of the task is to test your ability to identify correct information based on what you comprehend through listening. Now here are some strategies that you can follow to do this task correctly. You will get 7 seconds before the actual audio recording starts. Use this time to read the questions first. Once the audio begins, listen very carefully. Identify key ideas for topic and information. This could be a place, a thing, a person, or an event that have been described in many of the options. And if this happens, make sure you pay greater attention when you come across this subject in the recording. When listening to the audio, try to understand the meaning behind the audio and take notes. Correlate, trace the development of the speaker's ideas. Then use details and inferences of the speaker to match the information with the options. Do not blindly select an option just because it includes keywords or phrases or their synonyms. Check if the information stated in the option supports the information in the audio, otherwise skip it. Understand the general flow of ideas and only mark the options you are absolutely sure about. Eliminate the incorrect options. This will be very useful if you narrow down your search list, then it makes it easier for you to match your information. Try to pick up cues from the text and match them. After you have chosen the appropriate options, do not waste time in overthinking or analyzing. Click on the option to deselect. If you're not sure, then click on the right option. Now this is practice question 1. As you can see, your instruction has been given at the beginning. You will listen to a recording and you need to answer the question by selecting all the correct responses. You will need to select more than one correct response. Take down your correct answer and match it with the answer list that we have provided to you. So you will now hear an audio recording.
Practice Test 1, page 39, section 2. Multiple choice, choose multiple answers. Listen to the recording and answer the question by selecting all the correct responses. You will need to select more than one response. Recording A.
The heyday of the English landscape garden was the 18th century, and it stood for many things. The appreciation of natural beauty, of course, but also the idea of a civilized life, good taste, one's personal philosophy, and one's social status. Gardens also, though it is hard for us to credit, became expressions of their owners' political affiliations. Until the picturesque style emerged as part and parcel of the Romantic movement, gardens had been strictly formal, laid out with mathematical precision following the Italian and French examples. There then came a backlash against this rigid formality, led by, among others, the poet Alexander Pope. Pope and his allies argued for a more natural nature. Lord Burlington was a major figure in the landscape garden movement, and he was famously influenced by his love of the Italian architect Andrea Palladio, along with the picturesque or romanticised landscapes of Italian classical painting. With these in mind, he scattered his gardens and parks with classical Greek and Roman temples and statues. In other words, he wanted to make the garden look like those paintings.
This is practice question 2. Once again, you will listen to a recording. You need to match all of your information and select more than one correct response. Here is the recording.
Recording B.
Woodblocks used for pictorial illustration became fairly common in 15th century Europe, but had been used long before that for printing designs on textiles. Most of these were simple in design and quite crudely cut, but some were skillfully drawn and cut, while others even contained pictorial imagery. Records show that woodblock printing on fabrics was practiced by the Egyptians as early as 2000 years BC. The oldest existing printed fabric, which is Egyptian, dates from the 4th century. At the same time, the craft seems to have become widely established, even commonplace, elsewhere, for example in India, Mexico and Peru, where the same techniques continue to be practiced today. And the technique was almost certainly used by both the Japanese and the Chinese too.
Some of the common problems that students often face are as follows. The first one is the inability to identify what accent is being used. As a result of this, students often miss out on key information or important information. The other is the lack of vocabulary knowledge. Since this is a PTE academic test, a lot of the information shared is used from areas of social sciences or English literature or psychology and the like. So if a candidate is not familiar with a wide range of vocabulary, they might not be able to match the keywords with the information in the audio. Another challenge that unconsciously or consciously crops up is pronunciation. Your pronunciation might differ from the native speaker you are listening to, so it is always a good idea to familiarize yourself and improve pronunciation so that you can understand what they are trying to say. So here are some top tips that you can work on as far as this question is concerned. First and foremost, practice identifying the main idea. Now, people often struggle with this because they cannot figure out what the main idea is. So, you must understand that the main idea will always be mentioned at the beginning. It will be your introductory sentence. It is a very crucial part and in fact the most important part. This main idea is central to the theme or the speaker's opinion. Everything else is just supporting details, causes, effects, advantages, etc. But around what does this center? Around what does this occur? That is what you have to understand. Now the next thing you can do is familiarize yourself with the vowel sounds. Vowel sounds often slightly differ based on what type of accent is being used. So try to practice all of the vowel sounds. Repeatedly listen to the different types of words or similar words that come under each sound. Similarly, expand your vocabulary by practicing synonyms, antonyms, homonyms while watching movies. While watching movies or listening to music videos, try listening to different accents. The more familiar you are with different English accents, the easier it is for you, or it will be for you, to understand whatever the speaker is saying in the audios. Finally, listen, understand, and act. That is the end of this session. Thank you.